So I just made a video talking about the Sword and Shield booster box market and how it's turning around, and now a lot of these boxes are going up. Just in the past few months, Sword and Shield really was not doing anything, but slowly the market has started to climb back up. I really didn't think this was going to happen until the end of the year, but we are already seeing it. And I truly believe the market is going to be strong until at least the end of this year, meaning that I do believe that, some of these boxes right now that are starting to move up, if you can find any for under lowest listed TCG player or under market price, I'd probably be buying them. I'd be looking locally. Maybe there's some deals still out there. But in this video, I'm also going to be sharing some deals I find specifically with cases. So first here, Chilling Reign. So Chilling Reign is still around 450. Some have sold for a bit more, like one just recently sold for 500. But if you look at what's left here on the market, they're still around 450. But after these like 5 boxes sell, this basically goes up to like around $500. So what is there, like 7 boxes before it's 500? So with these boxes, you can see in the past like couple weeks they have been selling more compared to the beginning here of the month. If a few boxes sell, we could be seeing $500 Chilling Reign booster boxes pretty soon. Now I did find a case on eBay for $3,000 flat. So this is a pretty good deal on a case. It seems to be sealed. It's not like a resealed case or whatever with like clear tape. The seller is a bit smaller, so you might want to make sure the seller read through the reviews or whatever. Whenever I make these videos, I always talk about it. I'm not sponsored by any of these people, but I'm just trying to help you guys find the best price. So for this case, you're paying about $500 per booster box, which is a bit more than the individual booster boxes, but it's only by like $50 maybe, so you're not paying that much more. And like I said, seemingly here with the supply in the market, they're going to be hitting $500 pretty soon. So buying a case at just paying a little bit more for each box, which in my opinion $50 more is not that crazy. Maybe it is worth getting a case here. Now I maybe would ask for more pictures because they only have a front picture here, and the label is kind of dirty, but it is still a sealed case. So if you want to buy a case, you can get one for about $500 per booster box. Now next here, Evolving Skies. So Evolving Skies, the past month you can see here has been going up, but it's been about 2,500 for a little bit now. Hasn't moved up since then. I remember back then it was like $2,000, then it went to 2,500, and it seems like it has points like a $500 increments where it goes up and just becomes stagnant. I remember it hit 1,000, then 1,500, then 2,000, and now 2,500. I do think there will be another leg up for Evolving Skies, but within the past little bit, they've pretty much been around 2,500 for a booster box. And if you want a case, you can actually get a case without any premium. So if you go on eBay, all booster boxes are in the range of like 23 to 2,500. But if you actually go on TCG Player, you can buy a couple of cases here for $15,000, which if you do the math is $2,500 for each booster box. So you're paying no premium. Obviously, you can contact these people and ask for maybe pictures of the case if it's going to be double boxed, and maybe it's also a first print if you do care about that thing. So here, if you want to buy a case, I don't know how many of you guys have 15K to just buy an Evolving Skies booster box case, but here it is. You don't really pay any premium. Next, Fusion Strike. This is a big one that I wanted to show you guys here, which is why I wanted to make this video, is Fusion Strike and Lost Origin. Fusion Strike now, lowest listed is 860. One just recently sold, or two actually, for 850. You look at this market, guys, or what's actually left on TCG Player. I see this probably, if the Sword and Shield market continues to be strong, this could be hitting $900 here pretty soon. So it's pretty crazy to see this going up because it was just in the low 700s. Like a bit ago, you can see here 720, and now it is up like $100 from a couple of weeks ago. So yeah, Fusion Strike is really starting to move up. It is one of the more popular, stronger sets in Sword and Shield that people like because of Gengar. So yeah, you can just see it's been performing extremely well recently. Now, if you want to buy a case, you can get one from the seller. They have basically no ratings. So yeah, you can see it's still sitting on here, even though it has 33 people who've liked it. Yeah, when there's sellers with no ratings, you do have to be pretty careful. You can see it is a sealed case, but they are brand new, and this is why I've told you guys, start building up your eBay account now. You can do other ways of selling, but if you want to sell your own on your own eBay account, you should try to make your account today. If you don't have one yet, start selling smaller items. So at least when you want to sell big items, they're easier to sell, because right now this is the lowest listed case by a decent amount. TCG Player, I think lowest listed is like over 6K. But you can see it's not really selling right now, because people, whoever's going to buy this, is going to take that chance that maybe they are not reputable. Maybe they send them, a case that's maybe not like what's shown here. Maybe they don't ship it well. Multitude of things, right? So that's why it's a big thing to actually have an account that has some age to it and that also has reviews. But this is the cheapest one, $56.50. I did find one more for $62.50. This was the other cheapest case on eBay, and that was it. So you can't see that one was a bit cheaper, the first one, but they have no rating. So you are taking a risk there. I guess here's just another one. I don't know why I've opened multiple. Next, Brilliant Stars. Brilliant Stars has been going up a bit. It was sitting around 400 flat for a bit, and now it's around $430. If you look at the supply in the market and where it's going next, this seems to be going closer to the mid 400s. So Brilliant Stars, we might see at the end of the year here maybe being $500-600. It's been pretty much stuck at this like $400 mark for a long time now. If you look in the past 3 months, I mean, the whole graph's messed up, but these have been sitting here for a while, but they're starting to move. And if you want the case, you can get them for a little bit more. The individual boxes is $430 right now. If you want to buy a case, you get them for around almost $3,000. So you're getting them for a little bit under $300. So you are paying a small premium, but they are cheapest on TCG Player from what I could find. And then Astral Radiance. Astral Radiance right now really hasn't been doing anything. I'm telling you, Astral Radiance is, in my opinion, probably out of all the alt art sets except for Battle Styles, it's probably one of the weakest ones. The top chase card being the Machamp. It's not that sought after of an alt art. It does have the Starmie card in the trainer gallery, but it's not that popular, and we can see that. I mean, literally all these Sword and Shield booster boxes are going up, really, except for this one. I remember at one point this was $500, and even recently, market has been going up. These really haven't turned around. You can see like a few boxes have sold, but still way under 400. Could be a good play, maybe because it is so cheap, but I think there are some better buys out there. But Astral Radiance, you can see, really hasn't gone up out of all of these, which just shows it's not as strong, and I don't see this going up a ton anytime soon, to be honest. Cases you can get for a pretty good price though, for under $2,400, which means that it is under $400 a box. You're paying a little bit of a premium, but you can buy a case with not that much of a premium for each box. Now this is the next one I wanted to talk about. I mean, guys, Lost Origin. I think I have the most out of all the Sword and Shield booster boxes. I have the most Lost Origin. This set, and I'm pretty sure the Giratina is. The art was made by that popular artist everyone likes. Look at the sales volume. Some of these boxes we saw, the sales volume in the earlier month was really bad, and recently it was starting to get better for some of them. This has been pretty consistently selling like almost every single day. Lost Origin just is a very strong set, and if you actually look at where this is going in the supply in the market, you can see we have some pretty big gaps here. You can see this quickly goes up like $100 after just one sale, but there is a seller that has 18 of them. But look at that price jump, guys. I'm telling you, Lost Origin is very popular. There's a good amount of sales here, and Lost Origin was one of those boxes I was heavily talking about. We saw it go down to $500. It was a very good buy. It reached 600, started to dip. Now it's back to 600. So if I were you guys, Lost Origin, you can find them for under 600, maybe closer to lower to 500. I would be picking them up, especially if you can find them still for 500. They're probably a snap buy. This I could see going on a run, and this is a very good box. And if you don't have it yet, I highly recommend you maybe looking around to try to find some deals. Now for cases, you are paying a bit of a premium right now. The lowest listed case is $4,300. You do the math on that, it comes out to $716, which is quite a bit more, about $100 more per booster box. On eBay, I couldn't find them for any cheaper. So yeah, these cases have all sold out in the lower end. You can see here recently just a few cases sold for $3,600, and now that's brought the price up to $4,300 for a case. Now next here, you can see Silver Tempest now is about $400 for a booster box. It was sitting in the mid 300s for a bit. Now it's $400. If you want to buy a case, you're paying a small premium. Right now, you can buy them for about $2,600. So you do the math, 2,600 divided by 6, you're paying $4.33 a box. So you're paying about a $30-$40 premium on each one, which isn't terrible. I would say, Lost Origin, the lowest case being $100 more per booster box, that probably, in my opinion, really isn't worth it. But if you're only paying, I would say $20 to $50 more for each booster box, and they're like $400-$500+ that's not terrible. And especially the market is going up. I would suspect that a lot of these boxes, if you buy right now the case and you're paying a small premium, $20 to $50, you're probably in a month or so gonna probably just be at like equal market value for each booster box. So in my opinion, if you're paying a little bit more, it's worth it. If you're paying a large amount more, it might not be. So just want to show you guys once again, like I literally just made a video about this, but a lot of the cases, like I showed you guys with Lost Origin, recently sold because they were good deals. And hopefully, if I showed you guys any of these deals, hopefully do your research on the sellers 100%. If you want more information, photos, contact them before you actually buy. But the market is moving for Sword and Shield, and I do truly believe the market will still be strong towards the end of the year, and the market's turning around for Sword and Shield. And I feel like some of these, what we've recently saw with the market in the past couple months that have dipped, they're starting to go up. I believe for a lot of these, especially like Lost Origin, Fusion Strike, this is probably one of your last times to be able to get them at a cheaper price. Lost Origin at 500 was such a great price to buy at. Fusion Strike at 700 wasn't bad either, and we're starting to see them move up now. So hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. There are a few boxes here, like cases that don't have much of a premium. If you want to buy those, they could be good options, but if they're from TCG Player, highly recommend you guys contact the seller to make sure they double box and it's a sealed case and possibly maybe it's first print, which might make you want to buy even more. So that's all for you guys. Hope you guys enjoyed, and I'll see you in the next one.